A few weeks back, I got this idea that I could add even more value to you guys by offering to review your world building and give you some tips and tricks and inspiration that you can use to improve your own world building. This week is going to be the first of these types of videos. Welcome to the Patreon world building review, and let's get into it. Hi guys, my name is Jesper and welcome to the Fane of Fantasy. This channel is all about giving you inspiration to master your craft and create fantasy that will truly immerse your audience. I promised to draw one winner who would get his or her world building reviewed, but because I want to give you guys as much as possible, I actually decided to do two. I mean, why not? This week I'll do a review for Antoinette Marie Kalmus, and next week it's going to be for you, Timo. Before we get into this, I need to let you know, Antoinette, that what I'm about to share is just my views. So you should take what you can use from it and then just discard the rest. With that said, let's have a look at what Antoinette said. My work in progress is set in a Victorian era setting. The country is called Armistead and is a monarchy with a noble advisory council. The political climate is tense. There is a plague infecting the children of Armistead, and a migrant class is being blamed for the spread. They are magic using class that draws energy from the environment and converts it for healing, building, or elemental control. This group, the Rothian, are being further marginalized and will soon be hunted down if the head of his discrimination movement is not stopped. So that was it. So that sets the scene for us a bit here. So thank you for that, Antoinette. And Armistead sounds like a very fitting name for the era you are in. So well done with that. After a clarifying question, Antoinette then went on to clarify what she actually struggled with. So this is what she then said. I think the setup of the provinces, I think I have it right with the ducal heads, with the barons below. I'm having a hard time with other noble classes. I'm not sure what to call other folks. I have magistrates that run the justice systems of each town. So the way I understand your question, Antoinette, is that you are finding it difficult to understand the hierarchical structure of the medieval noble classes. All right, I've got some thoughts on how you can structure your provinces here. Since you're dealing with a monarchy, you obviously have your king as the highest authority, which means that he has complete and absolute power of the provinces. This could also be a queen, of course, but looking at your question, I think you are more concerned with the layers below the royals. So this is the nobility then. As you pointed out, you currently have the duke as the head of the province, and this is exactly right. You could even consider to include a grand duke if you want. Such a person would hold authority over the other duke or dukes, which also means that it gives you an excuse to create some tension between different provinces. So perhaps the Grand Duke is paying favors to one province above another, or perhaps he is driving his own agenda which upsets those he rules over. There are many options here, but I'll leave that for you to explore further. So you mentioned that you have barons as the next layer underneath the duke. And in principle, a duke was the direct superior of a count. So let's explore the differences between counts and barons for a second. A baron is indeed the ruler of a barony, so this can be your provinces for sure. There's nothing wrong with the way that you have set it up currently. The slightly more correct approach, we could say, would be to have counts ruling over provinces instead of barons. We might be splitting hairs here a bit, but the count also is also known as an earl, and he rules a geographical region. But either way works. You know, the next part of your question was around the noble classes though. And the next layer will include titles such as baronet and lord, and below them is where you find things like knights. At this stage you are near the top of the minor nobility. The knight often serves as a vassal with the duty to aid and protect the lord. This is another role that you can incorporate into your setting. And below the knight you find the patrician or the squire. With magistrates running the justice system, I would say that you're pretty much on top of things here. So Antoinette, so just keep doing what you're doing. I think that's my best advice to you. You've got many different noble classes here, which is a great environment to create lots of political tension. But it sounds like that's something you've already introduced. So allow me to throw you an inspirational curveball instead here. This is concerning your magic using class. You mentioned how they draw energy from the environment. Since they are marginalized, it's more than likely that a group who wants it to, that there is another group who wants it to stay like that. You know, perhaps in your world someone is jealous of their magic capabilities. I can easily imagine that the priests would be annoyed with these people walking around performing so-called miracles. It kind of undermines the priest in a way and their holy words, doesn't it? What if you got a pope type of figure in a foreign land somewhere who've tasked this bishop in your fantasy country to deal with these magic users? I mentioned the Grand Duke before. He could be the one who have asked the Pope to help him out. You know, maybe he has a personal history and animosity against the leader of these magic users. Wouldn't that pull let's say, the political tension down on a very personal level instead? That's my thoughts, Antoinette, and thanks a million for the question. I hope you found my answers helpful and it will kind of give you some inspiration to maybe enhance your world building even further. I'll look for your reflection in the comment section below, so feel free to let me know what you think. If you, and now I'm talking to you, dear viewer, would like me to review an element of your world building, then just head on over to Patreon. There is a link in the description field just below, and when you sign up at the $3 tier, just post some context around your world building together with your question in the Patreon only feed. And next thing you'll know, I'll be standing here giving you tips and tricks too. If you haven't done so already, don't forget to follow me on social media, and just stay safe out there, and see you next Monday.